is a paradigm that has plagued the video game playing community for years. If you're someone who isn't that great at games yet still enjoys them, you've probably heard the phrase, "get good," or "you just suck." For some reason, it's become so taboo to be less than stellar at any game. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had a genuine critique of a game and just been met with the same responses by people who think they're good at the game. I'm not sure where the stigma towards being mediocre or bad at games came from, but it's genuinely getting to a point where toxicity is just normalized in the gaming community. Of course, this issue is present in pretty much any game, but today I'd like to discuss one in particular. It's not a video game, but it is a game that's still near and dear to my heart. Yugioh, specifically the Yugioh TCG. If you're in the Yugioh TCG community, I'd assume that you've seen Paul's recent video on APS Amplifier. This video has sparked a ton of discourse between both the competitive and casual sides of the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Initially, I thought this was kind of strange. I mean, this doesn't seem like the most controversial topic, yet for some odd reason, people were getting so up in arms about it. I saw people saying stuff like, midcore players are just mediocre, or, oh, just keep coping, or, oh, you just suck, etc., etc. First off, this is an incredibly inefficient way to discuss this subject. Secondly, why is that a bad thing? Why does being mediocre at a game immediately invalidate your opinion? I see so many people saying that midcore players who feel left out or alienated are just bad or mediocre at the game. And yeah, that's kind of the whole point of a midcore player. Midcore players are just people who don't find the tedious nature of purchasing the same meta deck and then going to tournaments to be at all fun for them. They're just people who like playing the game casually. They enjoy the game. They get their enjoyment from the game, not winning tournaments. I've noticed recently that there's been a huge influx of people who play games specifically to win. They don't care about having fun. They might not even enjoy the game they're playing. However, they're good at these games, which means they win, which means ultimately they're having fun. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Winning should be fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing to win, but if you're playing a game only to win, that's not good. It means that your only enjoyment from the game comes from the fact that you're able to win and not playing the actual game. Losing isn't fun, therefore losing is bad, and I should always win. This is a really unhealthy view of the game. Oftentimes it just leads to players becoming more and more toxic as their enjoyment for the game just diminishes. Now, I know some of you might be on the opposite side of this discussion. Maybe you're a really competitive player, or maybe you just think you're good at the game because you watch competitive videos. Either way, if you're on this side, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, obviously I play to win. That's what's fun for me. Why should I play any other way? Well, because playing solely to win kind of puts you into this weird bubble. The moment you start losing or something big changes in the meta, well, now you get to complain. Well, the game sucks, the game's dying, yada yada yada. This, of course, is really silly. The game doesn't suck, you just aren't winning as much, which means you're not having fun, which means your view of the game is sort of tainted a bit. Now, this isn't to say that playing competitively is bad, and I don't want this to seem like I'm just some filthy casual complaining about competitive players. I have an immense respect for people who are able to play games competitively and actually succeed in games that they love. My point is, this comes at a cost. Being good at a game means that you're probably better than most players. This can often create a big ol' ego for a lot of these people. An ego that, if left unchecked, can blind them to the opinions and views of others. You're good at the game, therefore everyone else's opinions are wrong because they're not as good at the game. This might seem silly to some, but this is genuinely how some people feel when discussing these things. I'm sure most of you have seen or at least heard of Joshua Schmidt's reaction to Paul's video. His response is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Joshua Schmidt is a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player who makes primarily competitive content on his channel. This means that while being really in tune to the competitive side of things, he is very out of touch when it comes to the casual side of things. This becomes a big problem when he makes a video regarding the casual Yu-Gi-Oh scene. Throughout the video, he made it really clear that he just didn't understand the midcore player, a player who simply doesn't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh in a competitive way. Although this is all opinion-based, I don't think it was a very good idea to make this video at all. It's like if I made a video about competitive Magic. I don't play Magic competitively, and I know very little about the meta right now, so why in the world would I try to put my input into it? The video also inspired a lot of Josh's chat to chime in with their own opinions, which, to put it simply, were just really misinformed and unnecessary. I saw way too many people, specifically in the live chat of this video, just spewing nonsensical takes as if they were the best players on Earth. Too many chatters were just invalidating Paul's statements, which just kind of showed that they knew nothing about what he was actually talking about. This all ties back to the original issue. People just can't let other people be bad at games without invalidating their opinions or just downright insulting them. If you're someone who plays competitively, please respect your fellow players. Whether they're just casuals or mediocre and trying to improve, please respect what they have to say. And please, for the love of the Egyptian gods, let them be bad at the game.